Hello everybody, I'm Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster, and it's time for another deck special! Hello everybody, my name is Yu-Gi-Oh! Deckmaster 41, and aka Jason Lee, and I'm here to bring you, I guess, my next evolution of the deck I've been working on, which was, of course, Dogmatika branded Shaddolls. So, at Locals I did really good. The last time I talked to y'all, I got 9th place. Sadly, top prizing is for 8th, but not bad. Regionals, I bombed. First regional, I won 2 games out of 9 rounds, and I bricked, which was, anytime I drew good, I won, which was 2 games. Every other, 2 full matches, I should say. Every other time, completely bricked. Opening like hand traps and no engine cards. So, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, my friend Kang helped me realize, you know, I gotta focus, this is a learning experience, so that next time I go, I do better. So, I was like, okay, fine. My side deck was really good. Did a few tweaks, don't mind the kitty. If he ain't the center of attention, he'll walk around with a giant blanket and cry. It is crazy. He's an attention whore. So, yeah, and then I cut my deck down and did some changes to it, the main deck. So now it's at 44 cards, and I'm feeling pretty confident with it. So, I haven't got to go to Locals yet again and try it out, but I'm hoping to go Thursday. I'm waiting on 1 card, so I will be proxying, quote-unquote, 1 card in this build. Because it just hasn't come in the mail yet. I have ordered it. It's a 99-cent card. It just hasn't showed up yet. Which is pissing me off when I had post office. You know what I mean. Alright, so here we go with the deck. Okay, we're going to start off with the standard engine. Triple Alistair the Invoker. Searches your invocation on summon and boosts fusions by 1,000. Attack and defense till end phase is a hand trap. Which does come up, oddly enough. This card on its own, I learned at the regionals, just doesn't do much. So sometimes I would draw this card, some hand traps and some traps, wouldn't be enough. And that's because my deck was too big. You know, I was clogged up with too much stuff. And you don't want to overdraw him like Terraforming Meltdown plus this. And so I don't run Terraforming, but I do run Triple Meltdown because you do want to see him. And I'm still on the 1 invocation. I have not run a problem with this at all. Some people are running 2. Okay, that's fine. But for me, it doesn't come up. And I run a small enough package that, you know, hey, they DD Crow this, so be it. But I don't want to brick on, like, drawing 2 invocations with no Alistair. I don't want that to happen. This at the regional was subpar on its own, but with things being cut down, I think I'll get to the other engine pieces a lot better. And this with other support is fucking phenomenal. What over-exceeded at the event when I saw it was I was only running 1 Ecclesia to begin with, but I have upped the account because she is just freaking broken. Triple Dogmatika Ecclesia. Can special if there's an extra deck monster out, can't be killed by extra deck monsters in battle, and can search a Dogmatika card on summon, which is really cool. Of course, you got the 1 Fleur. Oh man, this card wins you games alone. This card can be summoned if there's an extra deck monster on the field, and if it battles, or a Dogmatika monster battles while face up, he can once per turn boost them, and by battle I mean attack only. Not if they're attacked. You have to attack with them. He can boost all Dogmatikas by 500, and it's a permanent boost. So this right here alone gets you 5,000, which is kind of nuts. So you get 1 of the monster on the field, you're kind of OTKing. Plus, he has the effect that when he's special summon, which is a quick effect, as long as there's an extra deck monster out. If I have another Dogmatika monster, he can non-targetly negate a monster effect till the end of the turn, which is really cool. The questionable card that most people will probably tell you to cut, but in theory, in testing online anyway, this card is worth the risk, even though it can backfire some, and that's one Maximus. Maximus lets you send, well, you banish an extra deck monster from the grave, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, special summon it, and then once per turn on your turn, you can send 2 extra deck cards from your extra deck to the grave, but then your opponent can as well, so they might get pluses off of sending stuff, especially if you go against like Despia and stuff, but you will get more advantage, and if you play it right, you'll be fine, in my opinion anyway. I'll let you know how that goes with more testing. Of course, you got the 2 Nadir Servants. Oh man, this card, anytime I saw this card, I would at least win that game. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to send one of my fusions that'll in phase get me a plus. Also, I'm going to summon some big bunguses and beat the shit out of you with them. It was nasty. And then the one card I'm proxying, Schism, because I do run Shadal Apkalone in the extra, which can get this to hand when sent to the grave. You have plenty of ways of doing that. And then you just got to discard a card. I don't run Construct, so you literally have to discard something else. That's the only downfall. But this will get you to Winda. Which is just, you know, going first. That can win you games on its own. Then, of course, you got the branded package of 2 Albaz. In the regionals, I tend to drew this a little bit more than I liked, but I still was able to, you know, summon some big nasty monsters, so when I could get its effect off. And then, of course, you got the triple branded fusion, which, you know, sends this from the deck plus any light, or if you're under a banish effect, any dark, and you just kind of go for big nasty fusion plays. Of course, you got your DPE package. 1 Celeste, 1 Dasher, double fusion. Anytime I saw this, I won that game. Hands down. And the funny part is I top decked this when I was out of cards twice. And I won those games. I mean, this is just when you are both down to the draw. You draw this and it goes off. You win. Hands down. So that's it on the fusions. Then we got hand traps, triple ash. I wish it wasn't once per turn, but it'd probably be too broke if it was. But you have to play this, because if you go against like branded fusion or Shadal fusion, red eyes fusion, or anything that summons from deck, which there are so many freaking cards that do, you really need a way to stop that. Plus, adding certain cards to hand, you just don't want to deal with that. I took out Quad Shadal Kias because I have other ways of making Winda now, and I'm up to triple Effect Veiler because it's not once per turn, and you can just negate the shit out of things. The only downfall is that it can't stop a draw phase branded opening play, but you can stop an Albion if they don't have branded loss, so that's something. Triple Imperm, same concept, except you can use it on your turn. Triple Book, same way that Flunderies, which I didn't play any Flunderies, but this works kind of a similar way. You can stop your opponent from attacking or exceeding or linking off. Can't stop fusions though. Or if they try to do a target negate or something on you, or a target style effect on you on your summon of Albion, Dogmatika stuff, freaking DPE even, or Alistair, etc., you can book it to protect it. Double Cyclone. I'd like to say you don't need this, but with the risk of Mystic Mine and stuff, you need to have at least some in deck out, even if it's small. And that's kind of what I run these. Plus, there's always, at least in combo decks, there's always that one spell or trap they play that if you can out, can give you advantage. Blackout for Sword Soul. Yeah, it gives them a token, but they can't pop your shit. Branded in red. For Flunderies, their filled spell or their trap. Force them to pre-activate it early, etc. And then I run some traps. Triple Compulse, because this card, in my opinion, is just really good. And then triple Ice Dragon Prison, because, well, I like stealing my opponent's shit and beating them over the head with it. Or banishing crap. And that is it there. Sorry if this is going to be a long video, because it probably is. And we'll move on to the side. I felt the side was the most balanced, but I still did do a few fixes. My matchups, oddly enough, one Despia player lost. 2 Sun Avalon players straight up lost to one and went into time with the other. I won one game, they won one game, and then we went into time. We were both 8,000, but it was he was going first, and they can gain life points easily. And by the time time got called, he was at 83, I was at 8,000. He won. Bullshit. That's so crap. And then I ended up dropping after 5 losses because you ain't going to really get anything at that point in time. And we were all ready to go get some food. Big shout out, by the way, to Noah, Kang, and Riley for taking me, because they didn't have to, and this was really cool. I got to experience something I never got to experience, so I was happy about that. And a really good learning experience. Got to hang out with some really cool people, and sold my binder for like 120, so it was falling apart, and there was some decent stuff in it, so I made some money too, so not bad. For my side, we have triple Pancreas, or not triple, I wish. Double God, I wish, I'd take that too. Let me get my words. Pancretops. This is good for against combo or spell and trap. You're going to side this, and the card you'll side out is normally Maximus, 1 Ecclesia, and then like all the traps except Imperm. So 3 Compulse, 3 Ice Dragons, and 1 Schism. And you're going to put this in, whether you go against combo or back row. They're normally going to at least end on 1 monster. You summon this can out things. Then for combo, you will also put in triple Regeki. I hate drawing Nibiru late. Oh, cool, I drew Nibiru for my 6th card. That's not going to help. You draw Regeki for your 6th card, they better have an out to it, because you're going to blow up their board. I managed to get my 3rd gold rare, premium gold rare one there too. And then also double Lightning Storm. This will go in for back row removal or combo. And if you could go a 3rd, you could probably like cut one of the Regekis for it, which would be fine. But I only have 2 right now until the reprint. Then I'll get a 3rd. And then for you run, of course, triple Evenly for combo, because hey, screw it. You're banishing shit if you can't negate it. And then for back row, Twin Twister, because you'll side in Pancretops, 2 Twin, 2 Lightning, and 3 Evenly. And then for combo, it's Pancretops, 2 Lightning, 3 Evenly, 3 Regeki. And that pretty much works. And for Despia, you go concept back row, Sword Soul, concept. It's a combo deck, so, you know, combo stuff. And, you know, Flunderies, you want to go after back row, and you kind of just keep it in that trigger. Plus, you run a few other attacks. For Sword Soul, I do run 2 Token Collector. And for Despia or Artifact Lock decks, I run 2 DD Crow. And that is my side. For my extra, let me get a drink real quick. hopefully the way I'm doing the lighting, you can see things a little better, and it's not so blurry. We got standard 1 Mirror Jade. This card allows you to send an Albaz Fusion from your extra deck to the grave, but you can only do it once every other turn, but it's a soft lock, so if you have multiples on the field, you can do it. And if you send one, you can banish 1 card on the field non-target wise. 1 monster on the field non-target wise, which is pretty cool. You got 1 Lubellion. The only time this comes up since I took out the Zombie World stuff is if, like, your opponent Dimensional Shifters you, or, I don't know, playing Dimensional Fisher or Macrocosmos. If they're banishing your shit, you use this if you're under a lock. Double Albion got 2 Ultras. I mean, I paid 13 apiece for them, but I got 2 Ultras at the regional. And this card, when summoned, lets you banish materials from your hand, field, or grave to basically fusion summon a level 8 or lower. This one, Lubellion, lets you discard a card as cost, and then you shuffle materials that is face up, banish, grave, or on field into the deck to fusion summon. Then the targets, you can summon them, and it comes up on a slight notice, but very seldom. 1 Alba Lientis, the Abyss Dragon. You're normally going to send this to the grave, either off of Nadir Servant, Maximus, or Mirror Jade in phase. I've never summoned this card in phase. You can add a fusion or a fusion normal spell or polymerization. This is how you get Fusion Destiny. Or if you already have that branded fusion from your deck to your hand. And then you got 1 Titaniclad. You can send this to the grave or summon it. If you summon it, it gains 100 attack times the level of the materials used. You normally are going to send something like a Fleur and then Albaz. It'll gain 1200, so it'll go to 37. With an Alistair in hand, that'll allow you to beat over something like an Ignister Link 6. The turn he's fusion summoned, he's unaffected by monster effects from the extra deck. And he gains the attack permanently, but only until the end phase for the immunity. And then if he's in the graveyard during the end phase of the turn he was sent there, you can add or special summon an Albaz or Dogmatika card, monster. Either add it to your hand or special summon it. This can help get your Dogmatika package online. Then for the Invoked stuff, you got 1 Invoked Makava. Tried 2, never came up, the second one. This card's basically an Omni-Negate. Your opponent activates a card, you discard a card of the same type. They activate a spell, you discard a spell. Trap, monster, and then you negate and banish. And that's all he does. The cool thing is, though, he is a soft once per turn. So that means if you have multiples, you can do it multiple times. But that just never came up. 1 Agodius. This card upon summon, and then once per turn when your opponent summons a monster, you can pop a monster on the field. Plus, you can also banish a fusion from the grave, gain the attack of that monster until the end of the opponent's turn. Not a quick effect on that one, though. So you do it your turn, keep it until the end of the opponent's. So he can get big and beefy, but mostly it puts your opponent on, like, I summon a monster, I special summon, pop. You're not doing much. And this is, this card really did put in work. Then you got the 1 Purgatrio. Ash Blossom's going everywhere, so it's not too hard. Plus, you know, against Sword Soul and stuff, they have fire monsters. Certain decks have fire or attributes, and this is, he gains 200 for each monster on your opponent, or each card on your opponent's field. Can attack all monsters they control once each, and does piercing. So he's just big and can beat over everything. You got, of course, DPE. Could pop a card on your field and your opponent's once per turn as a quick effect. And if he's destroyed by battle or effect, you can activate the effect, special summon a D hero during the next standby phase, including itself. So he's a recurring bitch that opponents really freaking hate, and I know why. You got 1 Apkalone. You never summon this, you only send it to the grave. When this card is sent to the grave, you can add a Shaddoll card from your deck to your hand, and then discard 1 card, well, deck or graveyard. And if it goes to the hand, you have to discard a card. If it goes back to the extra deck or to the deck, you don't. you're going to add Shaddoll Schism with this. Discard whatever. Set Schism. Banish this and any dark in your grave on your opponent's turn to summon El Shaddoll Wenda and possibly send a monster they control to the grave with Schism's effect. Which is basically Miracle Fusion in trap form for Shaddolls. And then this card says your opponent each player can only special summon once per turn. This really slows down the game. And on top of it, she can't be destroyed by card effects. Plus with Alistair, she can go from 22 to 32 real easily. Then you got one Elder Entity Intis. This actually came up more than I thought it would. When going second and your opponent has like just this nasty card on the field you don't know how to get rid of, playing the Dear Servant, sending this, popping it, can come up. And then because I had to go the Maximus route, I also took out Maiden for one Almirage and one Secure Gardna. This pretty much makes Maximus live with either a hand trap in hand or Alistair. You summon, go Almirage, because Almirage can be summoned by taking a normal summon monster with 1,000 attack or less. All the hand traps in it are that. And then you link this into Secure Gardna, which can be used as link material, but who cares? Once it's on the field, you don't link anymore anyway. And gets this in the grave to banish for Maximus, and then Maximus lets you kind of go off on your plays. Secure Gardna has the, Solomon Great Almirage has the effect that you contribute it to prevent a monster on the field from being destroyed by card effects. And if a normal summon monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon it once per turn each. And then Secure Gardna says once per turn, if you would take battle or effect damage, you don't. And then on the turn it's special summoned, you take no effect damage. So, you go against Burn, you summon this if they don't have a way to out it. I guess against Mystic Mind, you summon this since it's a continuous effect. If it's a Mystic Mind deck, you just kind of just sit there and go, okay. I summon nothing else. What are you going to do? And, that's the deck. The main things, you want to send to the grave are Abyss Dragon, Albion, because he does have another effect I forgot to mention. Albion, the Branded Dragon, this motherfucker here. During the end phase of the turn sent to the grave, you can add a branded spell or trap from your deck to your hand, or set it, so you can add Branded Fusion that way, or you can send the Shaddoll stuff. One little thing before I go. This card cannot be used as a fusion material. Period. So if you send this to the grave and say Apcalone, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna Schism on my opponent's turn. You flip up Schism. If that's the only dark in your grave, you can't use it. So make sure to send, if you're going for that play, send Albion and so that after Albion gets you the fusion end phase, you can banish it with Apcalone to go into Shaddoll Wenda. Do not rely on this to go into Wenda. It don't work. I learned that the hard way, which sucks. Anyway, that's my deck. I'm hoping to do better. I'm hoping to possibly go to locals Thursday, provided Schism comes in, or Saturday for sure. And I'll let you know in a couple weeks how the deck works. With that said, please take care of everyone you love. That includes the fur babies. And thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And until next time, peace out. Rock on.